So can it become more flexible? Can it become more adaptive? It is becoming a smaller part of a rapidly changing world. The center of gravity is moving east to China and India, and of course the technologies are advancing at revolutionary speed. Artificial intelligence, robotics, which will challenge a lot of jobs, the needs on climate change to go to zero carbon, the rapidly aging population, so serious demographic challenges. These are all challenges of change, of adjustment, changing to a non-carbon world, changing to a world where it's not only going to be North America the major driver, but Asia, changing to a world where elderly people become a bigger share of the population, and we have big challenges on that. So I think it's this question of Europe is changing rapidly. It's going to be facing immense opportunities. I'm very optimistic about Europe, but flexibility, where the jobs are, what the jobs are, is going to be a big challenge going forward. You know, Europe's big and it can afford and is doing wide-ranging research. That's very good. Multidisciplinarity, the breadth of issues is important. If you only focus on one issue, then you've got a blind spot. So the world changes more rapidly, as it's more dynamic, as it's more complex, you need to research more things and the interrelationship between these things. What's happening in the medical sciences, in medicine, is absolutely fundamental to understanding ourselves, the future of health. What's happening in the environmental sciences, climate change, water, biodiversity loss, and of course areas like ethics, economics, have proven themselves to be at the center of our concerns. So coming up with answers to how do we overcome inequality, how do we create new jobs, how do we ensure that our citizens and our firms behave responsibly, how do we hold our leaders to account. All of these are questions which, although they're not new questions, we don't know the answers to. They require much more research. The research agenda is growing. What's good, of course, is our capacity to research is growing too. The number of scientists alive today is greater than all the scientists that ever lived in history. We can absorb information from around the world on the web and other sources. So the opportunity for learning and research is greater, but the challenge is also greater. My biggest hope and my biggest worry for the world is that we learn to manage collectively. It's very difficult to think of a big risk for the world that's not going to require a collective solution. Europe has been the model of the world. It's the only place in the world that's taken down national borders, where countries have given power to the Commission to manage foreign affairs and others. Nations have voluntarily, in Europe, given up power. The question is, can we make this global? I think what we are seeing in the loss of faith in experts and the loss of legitimacy of political leaders, the growth of extremist parties, is a feeling that our societies are not inclusive and not fair. And so I think what we need to strive for is fairer and more inclusive societies.